machine is everywhere.
What if the best Spider-Man story ever told on television? It didn't have a cow, a cape, or a single bad gadget. I remember when I first started watching Person of Interest. I was in the middle of season 1, and something about it just started feel familiar.
The world thinks we're both dead, for starters.
The way the story moved, the weight of the philosophy,
Maybe there are no good people. Maybe there are only good decisions.
it all felt like heavy Batman vibes. So I did what any of us would do. I googled it. Man, that realization slapped me. It all made sense. The show was created by Jonathan Nolan, the same guy who co-wrote the Dark Knight Rises. Suddenly the vibe wasn't just a coincidence. Every time John Reese walked onto the screen, all I could see was the Batman persona looking back at me. Jonathan Nolan took the core essence of the Batman, the pain, the discipline, the obsession, and implemented it into a former CIA operative, operating in the streets of New York City.
So how do you know about it? I built it.
But here's the thing, John Reese isn't just a copy of Batman. In many ways, he might actually be the most realistic version of that legend we have ever seen. Because while Bruce had to become a bat to save his city, John had to become a ghost. And then comes Harold Finch, who's basically a mix of Alfred Scott and Ra's al Ghul's I can make you more than a man vibes. Like Bruce went to the mountains to find a purpose, but Finch literally finds John at his absolute lowest and says,
You need a purpose.
the pilot episode is freaking legendary. It doesn't waste any time. It sets up the man in the suit perfectly. You see him walk into a room of corrupt cops or mobsters, and even without a mask, you get that exact same feeling of,
Oh boy, you're about to get your ass kicked.
look, this is the part that absolutely blows my mind. Jonathan Nolan basically took the two halves of Batman's brain and split them into two different people. You got Finch as the Bruce Wayne's persona, the genius billionaire with a high-tech lair and the infinite bank account.
Credit cards. Funds to be replenished through a proxy corporation.
But he's also a man with a massive god complex who is so terrified of his own power that he spends
so much time being someone else, he probably doesn't know who he is anymore.
Then you have Reese, who is pure Batman shadow, the guy who is actually haunts the nightmares of the New York underworld as this urban legend they call,
Man in the suit.
but the fear is blooming in the streets because he is completely unpredictable. You never know when he is watching or when he is going to strike from the shadows. It's the perfect parallel because while Finch is the god in the chair, providing the moral compass and the prep time, Reese is the ghost on the pavement, delivering the fear, making them the most honest homage to the Dark Knight we have ever seen on screen. The character resemblances in this show are just insane. And it's like Jonathan Nolan was filling out a Batman checklist the whole time. You got Detective Carter as the perfect female James Gordon, the moral anchor who's the only honest cop in a city that's rooting from the inside.
This is a hell of a pep talk, Finch.
Then there is Elias, who is basically a younger and more calculated Carmine Falcone, a mob boss with a code who'd rather have order in the streets than total chaos.
I thought about killing you, John, but I realized that would seem ungrateful.
When Samaritan comes into play, it feels exactly like the Court of Owls, this massive shadowy elite force that owns the city and moves the pieces from behind the curtain. Root is your Catwoman, the chaotic, brilliant wild card, who starts as a villain but ends up being the person the hero trusts more. Even if she's still a little crazy, for the rest of the team, Agent Shaw is 100% the Huntress. She's the heavy hitter who is way more comfortable with lethal force. And finally, you have Lionel Fusco, who is the ultimate Harry Bullock, the grumpy detective, starts off deep in the pockets of the mob but eventually becomes the hero's most ride or die alive. It's not just a show about one guy, it's a full-on Gotham ecosystem hiding in plain sight. The real difference in philosophy here comes down to conviction versus redemption. For Batman, the code is an unbreakable wall he built to keep the darkness out. He is an idealist who believes that if he crosses that line, there's no coming back.
But if I do that, if I allow myself to go down into that place, I'll never come back.
But John, he's already crossed that line 1,000 times. His philosophy isn't about maintaining his purity, it's about atonement. Batman fights so he doesn't become a monster, but Reese fights because he was the monster and he's trying to balance the scales before his time is up.
Why are you doing this?
somebody put you up to this? Is this penance for some deep, dark mistake?
While Batman's mission is born from a promise to his parents, Reese's mission is a second chance at being human. He doesn't just not kill because it's a rule. He does it because he knows the weight of a soul and he is choosing to value life because he spent so long taking it. Batman is a symbol of what we should be, but Reese is a symbol of what we can become after we have lost everything. It doesn't just make the bad philosophy any less legendary, it just makes Reese's journey feel deeply personal and incredibly real. In the end, John completes the ultimate arc. He goes from a man who wanted to die in a gutter because he had nothing, to a man who chooses to die on a rooftop because he has everything to lose. This is not just some random hero sacrifice, it's a total full circle moment for his philosophy. Remember, he started this journey questioning if he even had a purpose, but by the end, he knew exactly why he was here. Batman's greatest dream is to become a symbol that lives on, so the man doesn't have to. And that's exactly what John does. He trades his lives for Finch's. The mind survives so the body can finally rest. It's that selfless, necessary ghost mindset, taken to the absolute limit. He dies as he lived. It's heartbreaking, but it's perfect.